You're listening to the Elevated News Podcast with two dope dudes. Here are your hosts, Dave and Aaron. Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with two dope dudes. We're a podcast focused on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I'm Aaron.
I'm Dave.
Yeah, we're here.
Welcome.
What's going on?
It's February 6th today.
Yes,
here.
it is.
Yep, it's a good day.
It is a nice day.
Yep.
It's a little foggy today.
It is not a little, a fuck ton. I was driving up and almost missed a turn. I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go in the other lane."
You didn't see the big airplane, did you?
I didn't see anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't see the airplane. Didn't see the fucking building across the street. I was got in.
That's good.
Yeah, we're here. So it's a good day for me. This was Pop's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to Pops.
Yeah.
I never met him, but we've talked about him a few times, and yeah.
Good man.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I like to celebrate that. Him and I shared close birthdays.
Oh.
So we spent a lot of time traveling and shit during this time.
Did I miss your birthday?
No.
Is it Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
I was like, Dave doesn't care about football.
No, but every Super Bowl Sunday we do a disc golfing thing.
Oh, that's right.
No matter how shitty it is or not, we one of the Super Bowl Sundays, they were like, don't stay outside more than 30 minutes or you're gonna die, pretty much. I was like, you know what? I'm disc golfing this whole fucking round, even if I die.
You guys disc golf from sun up to sundown or something crazy like that, don't you?
No, it's just my buddy's family started at 30, 40, or it's got to be 40 years now, because it was in the late 70s or early 80s or something. So yeah, we're even more than that maybe.
Yeah. That was 60 years ago.
But yeah, some people in that group have passed, and we just kind of keep the tradition going for everybody. And yeah, it's been real cool.
Yeah, I completely get that. As you know, you'll often find me with three other gentlemen who we all disc golf, and had a member of our crew who also disc golfed with us. So we try to, make sure we play disc golf together more often than not.
Yeah,
in memoriam.
It's respects to them, but I think it's also respect to yourself a little bit. Make sure you get back with the people who actually do matter, and it's kind of becomes bigger than just you. It's about way more. It's about your commitment in a lot of ways. Well, I love that. I mean, I love disc golfing. Period.
Disc golfing's
you
fun.
put some meaning behind that shit, I'm in.
Hell yeah,
man.
Yeah, look forward to disc golfing with Drew and Tank.
Yeah.
Here soon.
Mm-hmm. Heard that.
Our episode may be out by now. I don't know. Hopefully it was good.
Jesus.
I mean, we had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had fun. They had fun. Hopefully it does well.
Yeah.
It's cool. Let's do plugs real quick. Obviously you can find us Elevated News Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all your other favorite streaming podcast apps. Two Dope Dudes YouTube channel. Please give us a like and leave a review. This helps us reach more people. This is for all you audio listeners, not our YouTube listeners, because you're obviously already there. SupportDopePeople.com. Check us out there. We have links to our other pods. You can get some stickers. We have some partner pages there, some discounts there. Check it out, please and thank you. And you can always email us, twodopedudespodcast@gmail.com. for all your questions or things you want us to talk about. Shout out to people that actually text me about stuff they want to hear about too.
Yeah.
That's always cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. We appreciate it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Dave, and we're the Two Dope Dudes. We're here to tell you about the Crop Culture Box, where you get a curated selection of quality grow items and seeds to help you plant with a purpose.
Use our code 2DOPEDUDES for $10 off any box, $100 or more for new customers. Get the Goat Holiday Box. And check out their selection of seeds, too.
That's cropculture.net. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES.
MrCBDChicago.com. Use the code 2DopeDudes for 10% off. Mark just doing some cool stuff with some new what is it, Munchies up in Chicago, which is like a Delta 9 eatery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then thegreengrow.com if you like your mycorrhizae or your stuff.
I saw some of the Green Grow stuff recently.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been hanging out at the grow store a little bit here, and good on them. It's very, very cool.
It's really good. Biochar. They got veg, hybrid veg, a lot of good stuff for your soil.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo. Bingo, bango.
You always can check me out, please, on Thursday nights. I'm still hanging out, building a little, it's just a fun community for now. But I'm always there for cannabis questions. If you have any questions about cannabis, I'm more than happy to answer them, especially on a medical capacity. That's where I prefer to be. But peace, love, and cope. YouTube. Thank you.
Yep. Sweet. The only YouTube comments we got was from some spammer.
Hey, shout out to spammers.
Shout out to spammers. Good times. So we don't have any YouTube comments.
Okay.
It's cool though.
That's no problem.
I'm betting on you going off today. So, I mean, I picked some good ones. I was like, we don't need that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And of course, my mom commented about how she just made her first weed butter.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Ma, hell yeah. Yeah, there's so many questions I want to ask. Like, did she decarboxylate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I set her up.
Oh,
I set her up good.
Fucking hell.
I set her up with some decent starting material, and she bought a book on Amazon and read that, and
nice.
She's
Let's go.
She knows how to bake. She knows how to cook.
Oh my God.
She made some sourdough bread, I think.
Get the
nah.
Mom,
seriously,
you are
she's
awesome.
awesome.
That is way too cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing, and that's when you know you're actually consuming cannabis for a decent reason, I think, when the first thing you make ever is sourdough bread. If it ain't cookies or cupcakes or brownies and shit, brownies and shit, that's like, you're kind of stony below.
Yeah.
Mom?
No, like I set her up, and she might
That's
even
awesome.
I was
OG.
telling her about MCT oil and coconut oil and how you don't necessarily have to use butter. You know what I mean? Like there's all sorts of different things.
Oh my God. Don't be afraid of butter, though. Butter's not a terrible thing.
No, it's not. I'm just
right.
saying, well, I mean, no, my mom, everybody has, other things they take for health too. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So like
Touché.
MCT oil is great.
Very good.
You know what I mean? Coconut oil is
very good.
A great high fat.
Very good.
Even though I hate coconut oil, I hate like something about the way it smells.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not a coconut person.
Yeah.
So
Touché.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Teach their own.
But that's just me.
That's why they got butter.
I don't want no cake with coconut on it. That's gross. Like the red velvet with the coconut. Nah, dog.
No, I don't eat a lot of coconut stuff either.
Don't give me them shredded coconuts on a cake. That's BS.
Yeah. It's a little. Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah. Almond Joy, that shit is too.
Hell no.
All right. Anyway, nope. I'm down with butter. That's all I'm saying.
No, I love butter. Butter's great.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, check out this story I found. It's on Forbes, so you know it has to be good. New study finds medical marijuana improves depression symptoms.
Yeah. Way to get on board, Forbes.
Treatment with medical cannabis significantly improved symptoms of depression, according to the results of a recently published study. The findings suggest that cannabis could be a sustainable treatment for chronic depression, although the authors of the study noted that further research is needed. Yes.
Yes.
That always.
But there is, oh my God, I could talk about this for days. PTSD is something that often is related to and talked about when cannabis gets brought up. And we talk about especially the veteran PTSD thing. Mm-hmm. The reason it's so effective in a lot of ways and what we see is that it helps us relearn our fear responses. CBD is very good at it. It kind of reclassifies in our brain. And also, too, I think just the general fuck it all that comes from the THC intoxication, whatever, it's not bad. It also is very like centering. It kind of brings you back into the room where a lot of our thoughts can be outside of the room, especially with a like PTSD in a veteran situation. They're not necessarily scared of what's in the room because they can see it and they will hurt whatever's in the room if they needed to. But it's that what's outside the room, what's around the corner, and it comes from a different place. But to relearn and to classify those responses in your brain, and it's
to work through it.
Yeah,
Because it has to do with the neuroplasticity, right?
100%.
So like basically that's why they say like set and setting and be intentional, because like
100%.
it's like what you do. Like if you read a bunch of smart things while you're high, your brain will kind of focus towards that. If you think dumb thoughts when you're high, you're gonna get dumber.
Well, right? There's a lot too, I think, because I personally believe that a lot of this is it's hacked. You're not even making the decision. Something out there is making the decision for you, and it's just made you excited. It's triggered your brain to go, okay, that gives me a dopamine release. I like that. That's enjoyable, whether it's whatever it is. So we stay hyper focused on those things. If we can put ourselves into a position to actually take the next steps for ourselves, which I think a lot of us don't. And I think it's real easy to go, okay, I notice that that's a problem in me, but I don't really care. And I think anybody who's ever smoked cigarettes can associate with this. I talk about this a lot, but like we all say, if you smoke a cigarette, you go, okay, that's bad for me. I shouldn't do that. But you just keep fucking lighting them, and it just doesn't stop. And there's something in your brain that's gone, okay, it's okay for me to do this thing repeatedly. It's hard to break out of that sometimes, but it's to put it into different contexts. That's where depression comes from. If you're constantly thinking about something negative, then you are going to have, negative in, negative out. It's just, so like you said, set and setting, put yourself into a place where you are comfortable. And I think that cannabis can do that for you. I think it pulls you into a place where you go, okay, I'm actually at my house. I have everything that I need. I got food and beverages there, and even if the world went tits up, I could survive for a little bit, right? Like we're set up in that regard. So you kind of start to turn that down a little bit, and you go, okay, I got locked doors. Ain't nobody coming in, and if they did, I got something to protect me if they came inside here. So you start to turn that down a little bit more, and you go, okay, I'm actually more comfortable in my space.
Yeah.
So does it break down all the walls? Can these people go from going, okay, I'm fine in my home where I'm comfortable smoking whatever, but once I go outside, I'm scared again. And that's the other thing too, is it's trying to incorporate all of it. It's not necessarily using it as a runaway thing, like where you just sit within your walls and then you're comfortable there. It's being able to take those thoughts outwardly too and go, okay, I'm comfortable here, I can be comfortable there, and then starting to retrain your brain to not be so literally, it's fear responding to a lot of things. And that's where depression comes from. And cannabis is just, it when done correctly, and I think CBD has a big play. And when I say the words when done correctly, I think adding excess cannabinoids and knowing your terpenoids very well makes a big difference in the end result. And I think that's only so because some of these things can actually cause you to go a step further with those thoughts, maybe depressive or anxious, whichever way that it is. If you're very depressed and you're kind of too uncomfortable in your space, and there's a difference between depression and anxiety, but if it's directly depression, like getting too inside your head to where you're unable to get the hell out might not be the best play either. So maybe something a little more uplifting, something with a little push, a little whatever might help you, but it's so individual too. It is, but adding some CBD into this equation, depression, anxiety, inflammation in the long term, cancer, epilepsy, I think all of those things, and that's some of the major stuff that we talk about, adding that CBD into it makes such a unbelievable big difference. And, you know, I think, again, it can be something life-changing. And I watched plenty of people who had gone through some intense things in the world. And, you know, I've seen many of many of some hurt people who finally, and I don't know why, I don't feel like they maybe were sharing it with other people, but they were sharing me some life stories and stuff, you know, some real deep shit, what went on and why they're so scared, why they're feeling the ways that they're feeling. And the whole fucking time going, shit. I mean, I empathized, and it feels terrible, but when you're saying this shit to me, it's making me want to smoke something because it would calm me the fuck down. So, like, if that's my response to it, it doesn't necessarily have to be yours, but the amount of people who, you know, once you kind of face what it is the actual fear, and somebody else goes, hey, but you're here now, bro. You're with me. We're not going to go through that. We have nothing to worry about. I'll take care of you. You take care of me. And now we have something to live for mutually and commonly again. We're past the whatever went on in war zones and shit.
Right.
You know, that's fucking wild to me too.
Something about trauma bonding too, you know?
Yeah.
Getting high, talking about it, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I you know, depression isn't owned, and PTSD isn't owned by veterans.
No,
either.
not at all.
It's just associated so closely, regularly.
For the amount of shit that our country puts veterans through, and not to dismiss anybody's mental health or you know, what they go through, but, like, you know, it's a tragedy that we put humans through things like that.
In
you know what
so
I mean?
many
we
different...
should talk about it
Well,
more. You know what I mean? That's all.
I've had a take on it, and I've never been afraid to talk to veterans, and I enjoy doing it, actually. And I think the best take on this that we have to understand, it's different, right? All situations are different. They're very individual, but the difference might be at the end of it where veterans have gone through some very, very wild fucking things. They kind of sign their name at the bottom of a contract, right? You have to sign your name that says, okay, I'm now, and they understand to a degree they become property of the government, right? So they're signing their name away for it. Do they know consciously what they're going to go through, or that they're going to have to, you know, unfortunately watch the people that they love and that they hang out with every day not be there the next day, and all the fucking crazy things that they see, and the sounds and the motions and the fuck, dude, that's crazy.
The rules, the regulations.
They wrote their name at the bottom of it. A lot of these other people who have PTSD never signed a contract to have whatever the fuck they had happen to them. A lot of it, especially when we start talking about victims, you know, fuck, man, not one of them put their name on a sheet and said, let me
nobody
be the next
signs up to be non-neurotypical either. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know,
I think
nobody, trust me, nobody who is non-neurotypical goes, man, I just, you know, fuck them neurotypicals. Like,
I think the whole thing at the end of it is that it's very individual.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody has a different perspective and a different walk at it, but because you've gone through some very, very wild shit doesn't mean that somebody else standing across from you might not have gone through some wild shit. And to share a commonplace that is cannabis is a very, it feels, I mean, I don't know how to, communal. It feels like you're a part of something. It feels like you're not fucking so alone
you're
and
connected
on your
to
own.
The network.
Bingo, right.
You know, it's like the mycelium network. You know, it's like the underground mycelium network. You know, we're all carbon beings of a certain temperature. You know what I mean? And we're all connected.
You know me. I'll also talk about them the magics, the mushies.
Yeah.
I fucking love them fucking things, especially for this shit too. You know, when we're talking about retraining fear response and shit, I think that because I've been going and talking to somebody who's trying some things, some of these things that they're talking about, the first time experiences that they're having and the racing thoughts and the being in too many places at too many times and the whatever, I'm going, hey, that's making you feel bad. I say, I understand that is a thing that fucks you up when you're too fucked up. Cannabis will do it to you. You can get paranoid as shit. You take too much cannabis, but other things too. I mean, whatever. I said, you know what? It's that actually that is a good thing that comes from it in some respects too, that I kind of feel uncomfortable, but you felt uncomfortable and you are sitting in a place where I'm right here. You could have told me at any point. You never said a word. We got people around us all over the place. You could have said something to anybody, but you didn't say a word. You lived in it by yourself, and then you came out of it on the other end, and you're fine, right? Did anything happen? No. Did you actually sit back at any point and enjoy any of what you've gone through? Or did you just think about it too much and go, oh my God, what happens if this thing gets me again? But that's just fear responding. You are fear responding to something. And I think that all of the times that we overcome the overly anxious things that we go through while taking some of these intoxicants or whatever, I think it's just another step closer to going, wait a minute, I actually am a little bit more fine.
Yeah.
I'm not on the edge of falling off of the rock or something, you know? You kind of become more grounded to a little bit. You go, what? This actually feels all right. Being around these people and having this experience, it's so fucking worth it. It's such a beautiful thing. How can I stay at a place of depression?
Keep coming back?
It doesn't, well, and I can't be down all the time. And even then, once you get out of the depths of your own, I think it's fear a lot of times. Once you become in control, you take your health back into your own hands. It's a lot of what I talk about too. But I think when I talk about health, number one is your head. When you take your head back into your own control, when you don't live in this place called depression, when you don't live in this place called anxiety, and a lot of times just because we have these thoughts, it triggers us. And if you go, okay, why do I keep racing through my thoughts? All of us do. Every single one of us does. A lot of times, the distraction of the cannabis even, or whatever it is, pulls us out of those fucking racing rapid thoughts. And then by the time we get done, either while we're in the intoxication or while we're coming out of the intoxication, there's a clarity that comes over us. It goes, wow, I'm a little bit more calm right now.
Right.
I'm a little bit more comfortable. I'm not, I don't have to linger on the defeating thoughts that plague me, and that is getting out of depression. It's getting out of anxiety. I think that it's a very obtainable, real thing to do, and I think when I read the last stat on it, something like, and maybe I'm throwing false numbers, but for some reason it's sticking out of my head, 64% of American adults claim to have anxiety disorders. And I know that it's vastly different than what depression is, because Forbes is coming out saying depression, which I would say,
well, this was
there you go, 5% of adults, actually right there on the headline.
Yeah.
Depression affects 5% of adults worldwide. See, depression is a totally different thing, right?
Yeah,
like
this is major depressive disorder, also called clinical depression through DSV. I lump the two together because they are thought-based. Yes, I understand. You're like speaking in like generalities instead of like, hey, today we're speaking about this very specific, or not even very, very specific, but this specific thing.
The fucking beautiful thing is that cannabis is the very specific thing that helps both of them, which are vastly different. And it also helps cancer, which has nothing to fucking do with your mind state. Well, I mean, it might, but it has nothing to do with that. And it also helps Crohn's, which has nothing to, and that might have something to do with it's all. But it also
helps in gut biomes and stuff like IBS too.
Having your,
you know what I mean?
Having your thoughts be healthy.
Yeah.
I promise you it's the best thing for you. We all know that. I've watched plenty of people come through the dispensary, people in their 80s and 90s who were healthier than people coming into the dispensary at 20 and 30. And the people at 80 and 90 have debilitating disease that will ultimately be the probably one of the major causes of their demise, where the young people have things that are
more mental.
Correct.
But maybe we're also dealing with things much earlier in life now.
Oh, infinitely.
You know what I mean?
Infinitely. Me and my buddy were talking about the other day, the statement, ignorance is bliss, meant something different to me than it does now, right? Like, being ignorant, not thinking about things, not knowing shit. Somebody, I think it was Jordan Peterson the other day I might have been listening to, that said something about like, pain is like the fundamental feeling of everything, and like we all experience, you know, this thing, I don't know. I think to have a thing that we can lean on as a crutch that is going to pull us away from the shit, you know, it's the best way to go. I don't know. I love cannabis. I think it's honestly one of the best multi-use Swiss Army knife tools for health, because it does both sides of the thing. It does both anxiety and depression, which depression is maybe the lack of thoughts or the lack of ability to start good thoughts. Comparatively to anxiety can be maybe too many good thoughts, right? Like you just have way too many thoughts and they're just rampantly coming at you at a rate that you can't handle. And there's plenty of nature-based things out there that can unbelievably help.
Yeah.
That's my...
This is a really cool study. You should check it out on Forbes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go through like how they researched it. This is looks like medical cannabis flowers for use via vaporization over 18 weeks. And this was done over in Europe. And, you know, shout out to Europe to actually coming around. Actually, this was done in Germany, which is actually getting ready to vote on or pass their cannabis law, legalizing, I think, medical or also recreational cannabis. I'm not sure.
Nice.
It's Germany, so like I didn't really
nice.
think it affected most of our listeners.
No, hey, well,
but shout out to them for doing more stuff in Europe about cannabis and coming along.
A lot of the information that I present based off of medical possibility comes from
Israel.
It comes from foreign places.
Well, they have a huge research and like biotech industry over there. So, and they're really on some leading edge stuff, and they have been for a long time. So shout out to,
Raphael Machulam.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Doing the good stuff. Everybody's been talking about this. I mean, because they are trying to regulate it more because that's their way to make money in syntax. Marijuana moment. Marijuana use does not increase car crash risk, but drinking alcohol does. Yeah. Marijuana use alone is not associated with higher odds of car accidents, although we don't advocate for you getting messed up and driving.
No, but and though it is advised for people not to take their prescription medication and drive in a car,
correct.
It literally says it. They tell you don't operate heavy machinery.
I definitely have some medication that says that.
Yeah, they kind of use bland-ass statements. When somebody says don't operate heavy machinery, I'm like, okay, I won't get on a forklift. I'm driving that motherfucking car.
Oh, I'm like, when I hear heavy machinery, I hear like bulldozers and crane buckets.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a crane operator.
Yeah, because you can fuck some real shit up.
Right. That's
fair
enough. Don't get on a scissor lift or a boom lift.
Right.
You shouldn't be 100 feet in the air and consuming cannabis, or like in your trying to secure pipe to the top of the ceiling in the ceiling decks. You know
that
what
sounds
I mean?
like a
Wear your harness.
Like a stoner fucking with some masking tape and a piece of glass.
Yeah,
secure your pipe to the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about like for like I don't know, like sprinkler fitters or like
I'm
people
with
like
you.
data
Hey,
stuff.
Listen, I'm right there with you. I don't think if you can't control your shit, you can't control your shit. It doesn't matter what it is. I just think that the difference in what this study is stating and what we've talked about, I think, and you maybe have heard me say directly, the difference is, and every one of us who has done both of them will go, yeah, you're right. When you're drunk on alcohol, when you're driving a vehicle, you might be swerving a little bit more. You might be willing to creep into the other lane just a little bit more. You're probably going 5, maybe 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. And you're like, you ever did this thing?
It lowers your inhibitions.
Where you're like trying to look out one eye too close to the steering wheel and you're trying to drive because this eye feels less fucked up. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. That is driving under the influence of alcohol. Cannabis, on the other fact, every single one of us has done this. We drove a little bit too slow, as tucked into the right lane as we possibly can. We're constantly checking the fucking mirrors it's just there's a more conscious, a more deliberate, and your brain is thinking all these things. It's not, there's no waves, there's no shit, the road's moving on me. There's no, you're literally going, okay, the road's right there. I know that it's there. It's a more conscious, action.
Yeah.
Altogether. And it's a more conscious reaction too. Alcohol, you're like, oh, there it is. Look at it go. Fucking cannabis, you're like,
I don't want to get pulled over.
And that right there might sound like you're like, well, you kind of made him sound like a little bit tweaky. No, it ain't no fucking tweaking. It's a consciousness to be alert, to be aware, to go, holy fuck, there is actually a lot coming at me right now. I'm driving a multi-thousand-pound vehicle down the road, and it's that you're thinking about it. It might be the first time you've ever thought about what the fuck happened in that engine compartment. You said, what the hell? There's some combustion going on, and your brain's even starting to see all the parts. You're going, wow, is there go, and you're starting to think about shit you never thought about before.
That sounds like some good acid driving.
Well,
you know what I mean? Where
hey, that's when the road might be moving on.
All of a sudden, you get the exploded view, and then you're thinking, like, you should not be driving if you're on acid. Don't do that.
No. There's some things you shouldn't. You should call a friend. Yeah.
So this is marijuana use. This is by researchers who looked at drivers who visited emergency departments. In fact, high self-reported acute cannabis use was actually associated with a lower odds of a crash, for the reasons Dave said. Also others, I'm sure. Alcohol, meanwhile, whether used by itself or combined with marijuana, showed a clear correlation with an odds of collision. Jeez. To arrive at the results, researchers gathered data from emergency departments in Denver, Colorado, Portland, Oregon, and Sacramento, California. They do be smoking in Denver, Portland, and Sacramento. That's true. Yeah. They do be smoking there.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
they got some heady stuff out there, that nice homegrown, sun-dried...
This thing also says... they mix the damn marijuana with the alcohol.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah, you probably should.
Don't do that. I used to, honestly, this is part of the reason too. I probably stopped smoking or stopped drinking alcohol altogether. One of my favorite intoxications, because I like to get fucked up,
is the Four Loko weed.
Oh, I used to get drunk as a motherfucker and then smoke at the end of it and let the room spin around on me.
Oh, that's crazy.
I loved it. You had to sleep with one foot on the ground and one on the bed and shit.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the lingering edge of puking always.
Shout out to my dad for telling me.
Fucked up then.
For teaching me early. He just said, just remember the ground doesn't spin.
Yeah, well,
I used to get the spins a lot. Like I had ear infections when I was a kid, so like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. But like, I never had to necessarily deal with that while drinking. Thankfully.
Oh man,
I'm more of a puker.
Oh, see, I didn't. Yeah. That was not my thing.
I just
kept it all in me.
No,
it was fucked up, and now that I think back,
Ugh.
that's the fucking grossest shit I ever did in my life. I don't like alcohol. That's just me. You can like it if you want. Don't get triggered because I said I don't like alcohol.
I might have a beer with you sometime, but like
maybe.
Yeah.
Nah,
but like
maybe.
It depends. If it's like in the summer with some tacos, like okay, I might have like a beer at the, at the cookout.
I like fruity alcohol. I don't want it to taste like alcohol.
That's why I used to drink a lot of like Red Bull and vodkas.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah, we would go to like Neo or something, and I'd just drink Red Bull and vodkas all night.
Well, the first day I went to Vegas ever, my dad, he used to tell me a story. He's like, dude, I literally think, and I'm not fucking around, I think you drank 21, 22 of them fucking things. I kept like trying to count it. At first, I was like, oh, he's had like 3 or 4 of those. And then I was like, all right, Jesus Christ, look at this guy go at him. And then by the time he said, you were at probably 10 or 12, I was like, I got to count. Now I got to just know how many he's at. So just in case, like, I don't want you to get too fucked up. And he said, he asked me a couple of times. I'm like, oh, I feel great. But it was just, I was winning so much money. There was all the lights going on. I was with Pops. This was one of these birthday vacations.
Once in a lifetimes.
Yeah, so shit, first waitress ever in Vegas was the waitress there. This lady had been, it was funny. I felt, it was the joke of the night, but this lady had to been, bro, and I'm not even fucking around. She had to be late 70s, maybe 80s even. And she was wearing one of them like skimpy fucking waitress. Bro, not
get in where you fit in, baby.
Bro, it was at Tropicana. It wasn't like I was like in some bum area necessarily, but this lady was out there trying to do it. And my dad, like, she was my best buddy, but I was winning a lot of money, tipping her a lot of, so run it up. But yeah, it was a wild experience, and I'm grateful that I got to experience it, but no more fucking alcohol for me. I don't remember that day at all. I mean, I remember some parts of it, clips of it and shit, but I don't remember where I went that night or how I got back home. My dad called me at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. He's like, hey, where you at? I said, fuck, I think I'm in New York. He's like, you're still out right now? I'm like, yeah, why? What time is it? He's like, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm like, it's so dark in here, I can't fucking tell where I'm at. I didn't even know the sun had come up and shit. Oh,
that's how Vegas is.
Hooked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to the casino a couple times. It's just I understand why a lot of you guys like it, but like the gambling aspect, you know what I mean? When you're like winning, like, you know what I mean?
Hey.
It's just all about the odds, right? Like either you're like betting against them or for them.
Oh, I think plenty of people have plenty of different draw to the gambling thing, and I respect it. I just think be respectful to yourself.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Pissing your money away sometimes is not being respectful to yourself. If you set aside that budget and you're making sure that all your other shit's taken care of, fine, by all means. I'm not telling you what the fuck to do. That shit is. I've watched some people get on a slippery fucking slope with that gambling shit, though.
Pay your bills, homies.
Yeah,
pay people back who you owe money to. Don't be a douchebag.
Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to call anybody out. That was a little.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa. All right.
Shit. Sorry. I'll calm down.
Golly. Got aggressive. You want to hit this thing?
No, that's good. That wasn't directed at anybody in particular. I was just saying. Whatever.
This guy got somebody out there. He says some baseball bets.
I mean, people should know. So yeah, they obtained driver's blood, measured it for THC and metabolites, recorded alcohol levels as measured by a breathalyzer or in the course of clinical care, and conducted interviews with the drivers. So they checked all those things because they were at the hospital, because it was. So while most legalization advocates do not dispute that marijuana can impair a driver's ability to safely operate a car, the new study found that the mere use of cannabis did not correlate to higher rates of motor vehicle collisions.
Can you just read this next line right here?
Cannabis alone was...
Nah.
Oh.
Striking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Striking.
I don't even know if that top part, that right there.
Yeah. Strikingly, drivers who used more marijuana were actually less likely to crash, according to researchers' analysis.
Did you hear that? People who use more were less likely to crash.
Right, because either you're going to be too paranoid to drive,
or you're a fucking expert,
or you're like going to be so safe.
Which is what I've been talking about lately. I think you have to build up a tolerance to this thing before it fully unlocks its maximum potential. You have to understand what you need to use in perfect quantity. I think that is a better approach to it. Go low, go slow, but you are going to hit a few places of uncomfort when it comes to your starting journey through cannabis. And I think that, understanding that you're going to be fine at the end of it, again, like I was talking about earlier, it's a beautiful thing, because once you have this fucking tolerance towards things, it's more mentally clear. You're in control. You're not scared. The paranoia and the anxiety that come from the intoxication of cannabis are the most, I think, initially dangerous parts of cannabis. There is some like hyperemesis in long-term use typically. It's not like an immediate thing. But that paranoia, that anxiety, that what am I feeling? Why do I feel so intoxicated, whatever? I think once we get past that, man, holy cow, you can do some...
Here's another good one. Another study from 2022 found that smoking CBD-rich marijuana had no significant impact on driving ability, despite the fact that all study participants exceeded the per se limit for THC in their blood.
Bingo. And that's where, again, having CBD is a game changer for this thing. It's just, it's been around forever. And I think that's where maybe the argument that, when you've heard it a million times, our parents said it, people say, back in the day, weed was so much better, right?
Well,
a lot of
different.
the old heads that I talked to that came through the dispensary, they said, oh, the shit back in the day was better. The shit back in the day made you feel less anxious.
Yeah.
That's the overabundance of THC. I think
that was the giggle weed.
Well, the reason for it is because we had different cannabinoids.
Right.
It wasn't purely bred for THC like it is now, because you put a prohibition against one part of the plant, which is the next thing that I think we're supposed to talk about here. It's you put a prohibition against THC.
Right.
So then everybody and their mother went out and said, well, how the fuck do we grow THC? Because that's the thing that gets you fucked up. That's the thing that people are going to want to get a hold of. THC is boring. It's nice. It does plenty of good things. When in conjunction with other parts of the plant, the other cannabinoids, the naturally occurring things from the plant, and not something that is juiced for one direct cannabinoid, might be better in some capacity. It could be to each individual, but you're not getting that heavy paranoia from excess THC.
Right.
You would have CBD, probably because naturally occurring out in the wild, we tend to see some cannabinoid mix, right? It's not all purely bred for THC production. So, and it's not that some grow higher abundance of whatever. That's where Jack Herrera has 3% THCV. All the ruderalis plants, that's pretty much just shit that grew up in Russia.
Yeah.
They all had higher CBD content.
Right.
So it's under what conditions is this plant grown? Will you produce different cannabinoid structures on it? And there's a better chance that in the past, maybe there was just a more robust cannabinoid profile. Maybe instead of 20% THC, maybe they had, and maybe there was only, because we see the statistics, all right? They used to measure it too. How much THC does it have? Anywhere from 3 to 7%.
Yeah.
So what was the rest of the plant comprised of? What made up the rest of the plant?
Right.
So if
Seeds
there was
and stems,
well, if they weren't testing necessarily for excess cannabinoids to begin with,
they didn't
perhaps
even know.
excess cannabinoids. Don't get me wrong. Was there a fuck ton more seeds and stems and stuff. Yes. But the trimming process wasn't the same.
Right.
You can look back in High Times magazines. It's like a glimpse into the past. It's so cool to look at their cannabis cup winners from like the 70s and the 80s. You're like, what the fuck
it's just like these big larfy things.
It does not look good at all.
That's why they had that. That's why they put them in trash compactors.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and
I mean, no, that's
everybody
how
that
you make
got
bricks,
us to here
not like throw them away.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody that got up to here, they used cannabis. They felt good from it. They enjoyed it. It was a worthwhile experience. They were not getting 20+% THC regular plants. Having THC at this abundance in these plants is a faux market, I think, personally. I think that it's made up for people who, and that's why the word recreational has any merit at all, because it's not necessarily getting used. But cannabis use as a whole, I think prolonged use of cannabis, no matter what it is medical use of cannabis. Period.
Right there.
If you keep turning back to something that makes you feel good, you're doing so for a medical purpose. You're doing it for at least your thought process, at least your mind, right? Which is not a bad thing. That's why a lot of us turn to a lot of things. I think that there is, according to what we call medicine and to make us feel good and to whatever, we do plenty of shit throughout the day that is medical in nature. When we're talking about the actual breakdown of the chemicals and the components of this plant that have medicinal property to it, that actually have anti-inflammatory properties, that have anti-anxiety and depressive states, that have, I mean, nausea, headache,
right?
What you name
upset
a symptom,
stomach,
and
diarrhea.
then, right, and upset stomach, diarrhea. Hey, no. But if you have any one of the symptoms at all, you tell me a symptom, and I will tell you how you can use cannabis for it. Take it a step above that,
right,
and look at what's going on in epilepsy and in fucking cancer with this plant. And you have to, there is something so drawing to me. I'm like, man, why is there not more being done? Why isn't there more being talked about?
Right.
Though there's this common little hum, okay, cannabis is okay, whatever. It's not okay. The fucking shit's crazy cool. Yeah. It's got so much unbelievable potential.
It's fun to smoke and it'll make you feel good.
And even if that is the baseline of it for you, enjoy doing it because it takes you away from anxiety, depression, thinking about bullshit that doesn't fucking matter. And the only thing a lot of these things are radicalizing you to do, they're taking over your thoughts so that you fucking spend your money somewhere.
Yep.
Just stop.
100%.
Just that's the thing. I got to get away from all this shit, so I got to go have some cocktails, unwind, not think about it. Okay, I'm fine with you for a little bit, but you're pissing your fucking money away. Same shit. I could talk about this shit. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Cannabis is a beautiful thing. It does cost money. I just don't think you're pissing your money away on anything. And I think that it brings you back down to a very earthy state where you go, okay, the things that actually matter to me, community, family, kindness. That's
what it's all about. Find your community.
And then once you feel good, what do you mean? We're all deteriorating from something. Get called a condition name, get called a whatever. Cannabis is a way for you to take your fucking health into your own hands and for you to feel real comfortable and go, hey, you know what? All the rest of this really sour shit it's all out there.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
It's okay, man. Get back to where we need to. Start loving at home. Start taking care of the people here. I was asking my buddy, he's freaking out about war and all this shit. I said, bro, what side are we fighting on? What side would you fight for? He said, on what? I said, okay, that's it. If there was a war, what would you fight for? I think the thing is they've made some real stupid fights that it should never happen. Nobody would ever do it. What the fuck are you fighting for? Are you going to stand up because of your political alignment towards a figure? You're going to literally go, start a war. We have gone to a thought space, and it's happening in the media and everywhere. I'm seeing a lot of people out there talk about this shit. I feel bad for you. Get back home. Start loving at home. I think it was like Mother Teresa or something said this shit. If you want to, she was a good lady.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Antiwar.com. This is, if you want to actually see what's going on in the world, go to antiwar.com. It's the best source for anti-war news, viewpoints, and activities. And there are some, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 I just don't.
Scott Horton is awesome and he has done a lot of research and thousands of interviews with different people, and he is strongly anti-war.
I think everybody should be.
Should be.
I think it's fucking crazy if you think that you should war. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What are we fighting against?
I
don't even know.
I don't wish any fellow carbon being at a certain temperature that exists in this earth to perish. You know what I mean? I have empathy for all people, and I stand with those people. And
over ideologies,
government weird bullshit. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
Yeah.
Is that literally what your mind is only thinking about? Is how oppressed you are, or how downed you are because of your lack of something, or your envy towards something else? And why do you think that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro, we're the fucking same a lot of ways, man. A lot of us are just the fucking same. And it's getting hard to be the same now because everybody's trying to tell you, you better fucking pick a side. You better be different. You better tell me that you're for or against this thing. And it doesn't matter. They're just trying to provoke you. And it's this, I think that it's a, in the sense of the word, it's a cancerous thought that they plagued into to human thought process. And now just mindlessly people are going, I'm for this side or that side. Yeah, they're so
aggravated all the time.
Bro, this motherfucker is dying. I don't give a fuck. There's no sides that we need to be fucking killing shit. We can't have a talk about that. Smoke some fucking weed. Why is it all goddamn debates? Why don't we have presidential conversations? Figure some shit the fuck out. Instead, we go presidential debate. Let's all fucking fight over everything.
As if the president is the final anything on anything.
It's just a figurehead to trigger you. Get over. That's why this, to me, that this is the saving grace to maybe a lot of it.
Dealing with that shit. You know,
dealing with it, bro. We've become so far separated. We don't even. A lot of people. I don't even know. Maybe you experience this or not. We don't really fucking know our neighbors anymore. We don't know who lives next door to us. We're attached to people in common buildings. We don't know who the fuck lives next to us. We don't know people anymore.
Right.
And I had a buddy we had a great conversation about life. I love having these talks.
Yeah.
Like to just be real and just go, hey, it's okay. We're all seeing all this information.
Right.
Every one of us is trying to figure out and process how the fuck to go through this shit.
Yeah.
You know what's a good way to do it? Take a puff of some shit, calm your fucking mind and go, I actually don't represent any of that. I'm not a part of none of it.
Right.
I don't live in these places, fortunately. And very fortunately, I keep the fact that I am a fortunate creature to not live in the places where shit goes boom all the fucking time. I already can't. Bro, shit goes clap over here. I'm already ready to fight, all right? I'm not loud noises. Fuck that shit, bro. And the fact that it's being done over some fucking barbaric, terrible thought processes. You just suck so bad at thinking. That's it. You mean I don't give a fuck?
do whatever the fuck you do over there. I don't know what happens in many other places of the world unless I start to try and dig into it, unless I put myself into the place where I go, hey, what's going on there? And then the further you fucking get, the more shit you can fucking uncover. But if you were to do the same thing, you put the same efforts towards yourself, maybe you could uncover some of the shit at home. This is what I'm saying. Go back, love at home. Uncover the shit that's actually going on, and then fix your state of mind.
Right.
Because
clean your room.
That's it. Clean your room. Go home and go, oh shit, here's all the dirty shit going on at home. Here's where we can clean it up.
Yep.
Here's where my thought process can go to a place where it's actually better than bad, and perhaps we can change some of the narrative for the future, because right now there's a lot of war shit and a lot of unsurety and a lot of pointing fingers, and everybody's fucking on the edge, man. You know how to get off the edge? Smoke some shit. That's my
change your shit at the local level. You know what I mean?
Bro,
do the best you can.
I'm gonna tell you what, at some certain point, it's just, we live at home, bro.
Yeah.
I change your shit at home.
Yeah.
Be at home. If shit got too out of control, hopefully you know enough really cool people that could get together. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this came out the day after we recorded last week, and we were talking about the USDA testing requirements.
Yes.
One of our friends had texted us some information, and this came out. And so now we have all the information, and we actually have a better handle of what's going on. So the comment period closing for proposed Industrial Hemp Act amendments. We had reported about this back in December, I think, and I think we had reported on the USDA stuff in one of the early podcasts. It might even be audio only. So business owners, stakeholders, and community members have until Thursday, February 8th to comment on the proposed amendments to the Illinois Industrial Hemp Act. December 26, 2023, the Illinois General Assembly Joint Committee on Administrative Rules and the Illinois Department of Agriculture released several proposed amendments, including new administrative rules that would add THCA and Delta-9 THC to the total concentration level limits of 0.3% or less on a dry weight basis. As we reported last time, the USDA had changed their testing requirements to include after decarboxylation. So,
this is in line with what we've been saying.
Right.
We are on the knife's edge of going the other direction. I have been talking about how THCA has been pretty much interpretably a legal thing at this point.
Right.
Is it? That would be up to whatever the fuck power it may be that got you, if that was what was going to happen. But now they are actually writing into the law. THCA and Delta-9, which would fuck quite a bit of products and things that are on people's shelves and people are buying now.
I've been told a lot of people may not like that we're talking about this and letting people know, because I go to these events and there's lots of people who are have THCA products, and they are vending at events, and but I also think those people are more likely to comfortable in the black market too.
We have known for a long motherfucking time that they were dancing on a fucking knife's edge here. The fact that I'm starting to talk about it publicly, and the fact that I am happy as fuck to talk about it publicly, I am sorry that I offend you.
Yeah.
You knew from fucking day one you were dancing with the fucking devil in some regards, and it's not bad. I'm on your fucking side.
It is bullshit.
I want this to continue to be the fucking way. It should be. It respectably should be, because THCA does not cause you intoxication. I think that THCA
CBD, CBN, CBG, I believe things of that capacity should be put onto a list called essential cannabinoids. Once you do whatever the fuck you do with it, if you set fire to it, then you made the problem. But within all of our fucking states, we have laws and rules where as adults we can consume THC.
Right.
So I think you want to fucking keep criminalizing this fucking thing.
Yep.
Criminalize the thing that you're fucking actually talking about, the intoxicating portion of it. The thing that you're scared about is the mind control, whatever the fuck Reagan fucking said back in the day.
Nixon.
Nixon, fuck, I was close. Hey.
Reagan too. I mean, but Nixon really started the war on the drugs.
Fuck 'em
war
all.
on drugs.
I
say fuck them all back to Woodrow Wilson.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know enough about them fucking. It just
Worst
that never
president.
was never. Well, yeah, I know that, but I don't know enough about any shit to just fuck them all. Why are you hating on something you don't fucking know about to begin with? If you want to hate on THC because it does cause intoxication and you want to limit the use of it, or you want to excessively tax it because you're a bunch of crooks who just tax the fuck out of people for shit that they like to do.
Yep.
We all fucking are even. Well, I'm down. Every single one of us. We'll play it. We'll pay it for you. I'll pay you the same fucking rate that alcohol pays, though.
Yeah.
I want the same. What is it? 7.5%, 8.5%, 10%, whatever the fuck alcohol pays. I'll pay the same shit.
Right.
And then get the fuck off everybody's back. If they want to sell THCA, CBD, get the fuck off their back. That's my stance at it. I apologize if somebody has misinterpreted what I'm saying. It is fucking right now, and still, until they fucking write this thing, you still have something to do.
Yep.
What we're telling you and what we report, it's not that we are some fucking, what you think that Aaron and I made the difference in fucking what the what is these fuckers, the DOA, the fucking Department of Ag, is fucking writing into law? I think not, okay?
Right.
But I don't even think a department, hey, listen, if you're from the Department of Ag, write in the comments and say, hey, like, I don't know, fucking let me know. But I think nobody fucking has ever heard us say a goddamn word about it. I'm trying to tell my friends, you should capitalize on this fucking situation, but watch the fuck out, because there is a time where this thing is going to tip.
Right.
And you already know that that's a thing. But we are protected by some of the verbiage still.
Man, that just ruins my mini farm bill idea. That would have been so fun.
I know. That would have been great.
So new testing methodologies would incorporate total THC after the process of decarboxylation.
Which it doesn't say right now.
Right.
So it says new testing. So right now, they aren't doing that testing, which means...
No, they are. They are for the growers. Last year they were already testing that way through USDA. So now they're just writing in a law that it has to be this way. So like all this stuff, I think what's going to happen is that we're going to see like a year or two lag, because they're going to make this.
Course.
You know what I mean? So last year was last year. This year is going to be.
They're going to say
this year. There's going to be lots of
that
fails.
This is over May something.
May 24th.
Yeah, I think
for
you're
the
right.
103rd General Assembly,
So,
which go down, join Canna Equity, Illinois.
Maybe something changes.
Go to lobby
maybe
day.
something doesn't. But they're going to write in that fucking law that things have to change by January 1st, 2025. Or
That's
September
why I think we're
25th.
on like a 2-year lag.
I think, and I think that everything is probably fine. But for the moment, at the fucking end level of shit, I just don't see why everybody's not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that what you're doing, I admire. I think it's fucking very cool. You're kind of putting yourself out there maybe at the edge of some shit.
Right.
But, just be smarter. Don't fucking, don't be too flashy with some things. That's always play cool, man.
Total THC would be defined as the value determined after the process of decarbing or the application of a conversion factor if the testing methodology does not include decarboxylation that expressed the potential total delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol content derived from the sum of the THC and THCA content and reported on a dry weight basis. According to this definition, post-decarboxylation value in the context of testing methodologies for THC concentration in hemp means a value determined after the process of decarboxylation that determines the total potential delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol content derived from the sum of the THC and delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol acid, THCA, content and reported on a dry weight basis.
So is this purely going to, this is only going to affect the fucking hemp industry, or is this going to affect the fucking cannabis industry? And are we going to start seeing real THC numbers on the back of lab tested stuff in Illinois? Because
if it's actually a good point.
If it's not one side, if it's only one sided, then fuck this law. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. But bullshit, dude. I want to see I want to see some real fucking testing.
Shout out to Cresco for selling THCA right now.
Yeah, and I don't just need you to do some fucking stupid math conversion for me. We all understand 0.877. I want you to burn that son of a bitch and tell me exactly what comes off of it. Because y'all faking the fuck out of numbers. There ain't a bunch of 30+% fucking shit roaming around on the street. Yeah, fucking. It made me so mad when I was in the industry to see the inflated fucking numbers going around. And the people that, you know how many of my friends come back? And this is how they go, I got some good weed. I say, oh, yeah, what is it? Oh, it's 31% from the dispensary. I said, dude, I love you.
Unless
that's
it's
fine.
Alien Rock Candy or whatever that was.
Alien Rock Candy was gangster.
I know. Shout out Alien Rock Candy.
Well, yeah, and so was Florida Orange. And so there was a bunch of things, all right? And I will tell you, from every cultivator, they all had something that hit. Every single one of them. Maybe not as much Nature's Grace and shit. They had some stuff that was smokable, but... that was so I'm talking kind of super early on, but everybody had something that banged. Everybody had something that was good. Zero people were lying about how much fucking percent of THC that their cannabis had in it. Zero people. There was one company that was definitely all fucking low to mid 20s and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, how the fuck are they pulling that off? Everybody else is sending us 11%, 14%, 17%. And we were getting it by the fucking truckloads. 17%, 18%. And I get it. Maybe you hone in some of your growing skills so that you produce more THC or whatever. The end factor is the shit that I saw at the beginning that was 11% THC looked fucking identical to the shit at the end that I was seeing that they were trying to claim was 31%. If not, I would tell you the 14% fucking
sweet spot.
Oh my god, dude, what was it called? It was called
was that like some Nature's Grace stuff?
No, man. It was one of my fucking favorite flowers ever. And this is how removed from the game it is. It was in a blue package. No, it was a Kush.
Lavender Jones.
No, it was in a blue package from Ataraxia. It was a Kush. I can't remember the name of it, man. Maybe OG. No, that was fucking Cresco. Shit, I gotta go back to some of my old fucking talks. I'm cooked up. I can't even think about it. But this shit was literally 14%. My favorite cannabis that I've smoked in the industry the whole fucking time.
Nice.
It gave me kind of that real comfortable head feel. I giggled a little bit. I was like, damn, this shit's kind of fire. I hope I can have this forever. And then all of a sudden, they got rid of all the low testing stuff, right? And then they just got all this high testing THC shit. And we saw that development kind of coming on early in the first maybe year and a half, 2 years. Well, because
when it was medical only, like the THC only mattered for BioTrack. You know what I mean? For like your allotment or whatever.
Yeah.
Metric's going in this year.
Well,
we'll see.
It depended on THC. Yeah, in the fucking... Oh, that was so trash when they had the 10X rule.
Yeah, when people start buying carts and then they can't buy anything for 2 weeks because...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I watched that happen to too many. The worst was the RSO because that shit was decarbed all the way.
Yep.
And in 1 gram, they would be 70% of something. So they were getting dinged 7 grams per... whatever, and that's where at the beginning the increase of your limit was so viable. You should increase your limit, guaranteed, period. I think when I had mine, I had a 5-ounce limit. I knew some people that had 16. They could buy a pound every 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's why going back to what you were saying earlier, medical, get your medical card. The only way we can actually, the only way we can change things and show people, like whether you're growing or not, whether you're growing or whether you're an actual medical patient, if you're either of those things, get your medical card, because it shows the state that there are people out here using this for medicine and not recreation. Because back to your point that at some point all medical, all cannabis use is medical use, you know what I mean? And whether it's recreation or not,
Yeah, I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it.
Fair.
We're just smart enough to understand that if I keep doing something on repeat, I'm not doing it because it's hurting me.
Right.
If I keep turning to something while all the shit is going negatively, that can't be the thing that's hurting me. And it can be a lot of times if you're using hurtful things.
Right.
Right. But like we can, through history and through living beings, it's not just whatever. I've consumed cannabis since I was 14 years old. I'm about to turn 35 in 5 days. 21 years of cannabis use with regularity. I genuinely don't know that I have any physical detriment from this. I think that maybe some
psychosomatic,
some cognitive things, but it's more that I just don't hold a bunch of the aggression things for too long. I'm not really good at remembering movie lyrics and shit. Right? Like, I know a lot of my friends.
Movie lyrics?
Yeah.
No, I can't remember movie lyrics either.
Hell no, bro. People are talking in movie lyrics regularly.
Right.
And I forget what it was about.
That's why I make up if like you're super close to me, you know that I like to ruin songs with different different words because I can't always remember them.
Listen, that's all right.
The funny ones come faster than the real ones.
Yeah, well, sometimes. Yeah. No, and I've heard you do it. It's quite great. But I just don't think that maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? You be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
I still can fucking retain information that's pertinent towards getting the job done a lot of times. But some of the smaller details and some of the phrases that some people linger on that can either cause you joy or cause you anxiety or whatever, I don't have that. And that's okay, right? Like, I'm missing out on remembering all the joy shit. No, you're missing out on having the anxiety, all right? Which is a far better health result, is at least individually speaking, that I've had, is to not be so fucking anxious, because then my baseline is joy. My baseline is comfort and happy, and I don't need shit, man.
I just need some good community, disc golfing, my people, and some plants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, fun facts.
Fun facts.
That's it. I love y'all. No matter what. If you've been listening this long, I think I spieled a lot. It's our longest episode. Oh, I spieled a lot, brother. I went off on tangents, but thanks for listening. No, if you've listened this long and you're hearing what I'm saying, I am going off. Well, it kind of triggered because of the news, whatever. But I'm talking in the capacity that I am because I'm listening to too many people close to me, who are going through a lot of shit right now. The weather's changing. We're all very close to having the sun back regularly. We're gonna be fine. All right, we're almost there. Hang in.
Happens every winter.
But we're okay, y'all.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna make it through it. If you need anything, we're always here.
Yeah.
Let me know. Let Aaron know. We're happy to fucking kind of. I like psychology.
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
talking about life.
Yeah.
I like getting real about shit. Smoking with people who might share some common thought to me, who might have a perspective that I don't see it from. And you can't be so closed off. These are people who love you. If they say some shit that triggers you, think about why they might.
Yeah.
It's okay to see adversity, look it in the face and go, wow, that's just different. It's not a bad thing. That's a different perspective. I'm not mad at you for thinking about it that way. Whatever it is, I'm trying to figure out my path. And a lot of times you can do so through community and with a little bit of clarity, a little THC clarity, add some CBD clarity, and just be around the right people, bro.
And thanks for joining us on our journey trying to figure it out, because we're trying to navigate what's going on too. And as always, shout out to the people that listen. Shout out to people who give us really nice compliments. I'm always very humbled when people are like, "Oh, I've listened to this episode," or "You've taught me something."
That's fire. No, that's very rewarding.
And shout out to the people who are audio listeners, because I've talked to a few of them lately who are audio only listeners. I love you guys.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
Yep.
God dang. I
the video stuff is fun. It's a different component, but like, more than anything, I love for the talking, for the audio. You know what I mean?
I like to talk, man.
I know.
I really do. If any episode's gonna show it, it's gonna be this one.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, they're not used to your Thursday, Monday, Friday, Wednesday live streams.
Yeah, I used to go 4 days a week.
Yeah,
talking about all this.
Yeah,
I see it so.
I can see clearly.
It's fucked up because a lot of the people that are most heavily going through the shit are the ones who try to. I want to say they hide away from my information. They can't stand to fucking talk to me about this.
Right.
I mean, bro, it's not necessarily
for 'em.
Right. It's not necessarily easy to. And hey, ignorance is bliss.
That's right.
You're gonna feel good if you stay ignorant. Because then you don't have to deal with the reality of shit.
That's right.
Then you can just go back to being at home.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it's not a bad thing. It's okay to go back to just be at home. Respect that you are safe in the small environment that you are. Know what's going on in the grand scale, though, and I think that the people who are intelligent to it and can see the bigger picture, I think that, we're going to suffer more pain. That's all that I was talking about with the Jordan Peterson thing earlier.
Yeah.
I triggered my brain. I fucking had a brain fart, but that was it. It's just that we're going to feel the more pain because we're intelligent. We're looking. We're trying to explore and to understand the things. And that's not a bad thing to do. But sometimes, especially if you're wrapped up in this shit, you're going down rabbit holes, you got to take a step the fuck away. Just take a step away, go back home, smoke yourself into a nice little
smoke a nice
stupor or coma or something like that. Get yourself real cooked up, stay home, feel good, make some good food, be around family. Have a conversation with somebody about what the fuck you're going through. Because I literally had 2 of them this week. From the time that we recorded last till now, I've had 2 conversations with people, very deep, real life conversations where they're going through it and struggling and having roughness. And I think the end part of this, there's some of that for all of us.
Yeah.
It's perspective in a lot of ways that can change it. And I think that using cannabis to change your perspective, to feel lighter, to feel more comfortable is a very okay thing to do. And that's what a lot of people feel guilty to feel good. Fuck that. You do not have to feel guilty because you're trying to feel good. All right. And actually, once you break that stigma out of your brain, you find a level of comfort that is acceptable to you, and you don't need anybody else to explain it to you.
Right.
Me sitting here telling you that cannabis is good all the fucking time, if you know that cannabis is good, probably isn't your jive. You're like, shut the fuck up about that stuff. And I'm okay with that. There are so many people who don't understand that just that simple shut the fuck up about it. I know I use it every day. I don't fucking know why I use it. I don't really give a shit. It's my jam. But that's fine. Putting context to it is all I'm trying to do. And the reason I'm trying to put context to it is because we're all the fucking same.
Yep.
We're all going through the same fucking shit. And I think that having a community, having a place where all of us go, whoa, 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 whoa. Ain't nobody trying to fight no fucking wars. Ain't nobody trying to get one over on nobody. We're all trying to build a community, not a competition. And if you were just to let us harvest this fucking plant at a capacity that we felt was sustainable for our lives, let the market regulate itself, there would be far less of this wild shit going on in the world that we have.
Yeah, it's the overgrown philosophy. If everybody grew, that's why I always love advocating for people growing, because if everybody grew, we would have enough for everybody, and the market would just completely drop, and all around the world. So shout out to people who believe in that stuff. But yeah, you should just grow a plant. It's a journey. It's easier than you think. Just grow and harvest one plant.
There's legal ways to go about it.
Yeah, there's legal ways.
Medical license.
Yeah.
Find a buddy who has a medical license. See if you can get on the little, what is it called? Caretaker program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Cool. Well, hey, that's our episode for today. We appreciate you. We love you.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, guy.
Hell yeah.
It's been fun.
Great episode. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, y'all.
We love y'all. Peace.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.